Michael Johnson was a man who always smiled in public. He worked in a small company in Chicago, and everyone thought he was friendly and polite. But behind his smile, Michael had a secret. He had learned that lying could sometimes make life easier, and he often used lies to get what he wanted. At first, his lies were small. He told his boss he had finished a project when he had not. He told his neighbors he was sick when he simply wanted to avoid helping them. But slowly, his lies became bigger, and they started to affect the people around him. Michael lived with his girlfriend, Emily Parker. Emily was kind, honest, and believed in love built on trust. She worked as a nurse in a local hospital and always told Michael how much honesty mattered to her. "Michael," she often said, "if we want a happy future together, we must always be truthful. Lies may look small, but they break hearts." Michael nodded and smiled, but deep inside, he did not take her words seriously. One evening, Emily asked Michael if he could pick her up from the hospital after her night shift. Michael promised he would. But instead of waiting outside the hospital, Michael went out with his friends to a bar. He laughed, drank, and completely forgot about Emily waiting alone in the cold night. When he finally remembered and reached the hospital, it was already late. Emily was standing there, shivering. "Where were you, Michael?" she asked softly. Michael quickly lied. "I had a flat tire, Emily. I tried to fix it, but it took hours." Emily believed him. She even felt sorry for him and hugged him, saying, "I understand. Thank you for trying." Michael smiled, thinking his lie had saved him again. But that was only the beginning. Days turned into weeks, and Michael's lies grew. He told Emily he was working late, but in truth, he was out playing cards with friends. He told her he was saving money for their future, but secretly he was spending it on things he did not need. Emily trusted every word, because in her heart, she loved him deeply. One afternoon, Emily's friend Sarah invited her to a cafe. Sarah looked worried and hesitated before speaking. "Emily," she said, "I don't want to hurt you, but I need to tell you something. I saw Michael at the bar last night. He was not alone. He was with another woman." Emily's face turned pale. "No, Sarah," she whispered. "Michael told me he was working late. You must be mistaken." Sarah shook her head. "I am not mistaken. I saw him clearly." I didn't want to believe it either, but it's true. Emily's heart was heavy. She returned home and waited for Michael. When he entered the door, she asked gently, "Michael, were you at work last night?" Michael looked into her eyes and said with confidence, "Of course, Emily. I had so many reports to finish." He smiled, thinking she would believe him as always. But this time, Emily did not smile back. Her eyes filled with tears. "Michael, why are you lying to me?" she asked. "Sarah saw you at the bar. She saw you with another woman." For the first time, Michael's face turned red. He tried to speak, but no words came out. His lies had finally been caught. Emily sat down, holding her chest as if her heart was breaking. "Do you know what hurts the most, Michael? Not that you went to the bar, not that you met another woman. What hurts is that you broke the trust one gave you. I trusted you with my whole heart, and you lied again and again." Michael felt guilty, but his habit of lying was strong. He tried to say, "Emily, it was nothing. That woman was just a friend. Please believe me." But Emily shook her head. "No, Michael. I cannot live like this anymore. A relationship without trust is like a house without a foundation. It will fall one day. You lied too many times. You broke the one thing I valued most, trust." Emily packed her things and left the house. Michael sat alone in silence. For the first time, he felt the weight of his lies. The smile he always wore disappeared. Days passed, but Emily did not return. Michael tried calling her, sending messages, and even waiting outside her hospital, but she did not answer. Michael thought about his life. He remembered how his small lies grew into bigger ones. He remembered Emily's words about honesty. He realized that his lies had not only hurt Emily, but they had also destroyed his own happiness. A lie had given him a moment of comfort, but it had taken away the love of his life. One rainy evening, Michael walked down the same street where he once picked Emily up. The rain poured heavily, and he thought about how she used to wait for him with hope in her eyes. Now she was gone. He whispered to himself, "A lying man broke the trust. And that man was me." Emily, on the other hand, started a new life. It was not easy. She cried many nights, remembering the love she once shared. But she also remembered the pain of betrayal. She promised herself that she would never again let lies control her life. She became stronger, more careful, and more determined to surround herself with people who valued truth. Michael lived with regret for many years. He changed jobs, met new people, and tried to fix his ways. He stopped lying in small things. He became more honest with colleagues and friends. But whenever he looked at couples walking hand in hand, he thought of Emily. He knew that once trust is broken, it is almost impossible to rebuild. This story became a lesson not only for Michael but for everyone who heard it. Lies may seem small, but they grow like a shadow. They follow you, they cover your truth, and in the end, they break the most beautiful bonds. Trust, once broken, is very hard to heal. So if you love someone, if you care about your family, your friends, or your partner, always choose honesty. It may be difficult at times, but honesty builds strong relationships, while lies destroy them. Michael's story reminds us that a smiling face can hide lies, but the truth always comes out in the end. And when it does, it can change lives forever.